We're going to talk today about adding value and what that really means, because that's kind of the buzzword and I hear everybody talking about it. And I think a lot of people are not even really sure what that means to add value. So share that out with your followers. My little girl's turning 12 today, and we've got a huge party out here tonight, and we're supposed to be having rain coming in off of this hurricane, and she is bent on having a birthday party. So a sleepover actually intent. So my backyard is going to turn into a middle school girls jamboree here in just a little bit. Let me talk to you guys a little bit about adding value. I'm going to talk to you about the what, the how, the why, the who, and the when. Welcome aboard Money Don't Sleep. Talking about adding value. What prompted me to do this scope? I see people talking about adding value, and I'm not saying that it's just a buzzword and people aren't actually adding value. There are some people out there who are adding value, but I don't see a lot of them adding the value that they're capable of bringing. Let me say it that way. They're not adding the value that they're capable of bringing, number one. And number two, they're not adding all the value that their followers need them to bring. So we're going to talk a little bit about what does it mean to actually add value. A lot of people that I see coaching, for instance, I checked out some Blabs the other night. I don't know if you guys are on Blab. Blab is awesome. It's kind of like Periscope on steroids. Periscope is more of a monologue. Blab is where you can sit down and have a dialogue with a few other people and create a little panel and almost have like your own little talk show there with other people. It's awesome. Welcome aboard, Encouraging Home. Good to have you. Thanks for the hearts. And so they kept talking about adding value, and I started to ask them some questions that they were not capable of answering. And I started to ask them, what does it mean to you to add value? And here's what dawned on. This is what's dawned on me as I've watched a lot of scopes and blabs in the last few days. Welcome aboard, Anthony in Vegas. A lot of people think that adding value simply means them getting on and talking. Did you catch that? They think that it means getting on a Periscope or a Blab or shooting a video and putting on YouTube and just talking to people and teaching them something. Now, that is a way to add value. But I'm going to tell you guys an insider secret here. And I hope that you'll take this very seriously and you'll take it to the bank. The way that Nate Ridgway adds value is by becoming more valuable. Did you catch that? The way you add more value to the marketplace is you go become more valuable. See, you're only able to give what it is that you have. And if you're not constantly investing in growing you, and what do I mean by that? I'm talking about spending time and spending money with mentors, learning new skills, new content, new techniques, what's going on in the marketplace, what's happening in the world of business today. Thank you for inviting your followers, Encouraging Home. I appreciate that. That means a lot. So adding value, I want to change your paradigm and your thinking about adding value. Adding value is not just what you're giving out. It's about what you're receiving in. It's about taking the time to actually elevate the capacity of value that you hold. Does that make sense to you guys? If that makes sense, give me a yes. You guys type in yes if you understand what I'm saying. See, here's what's happening. A lot of people have kind of plateaued and stopped growing, and I hear them talking about the same stuff over and over and over and over and over again as I watch their scopes and watch their blabs. And it's obvious to me that they're kind of stuck. They're kind of stuck. I don't want you guys to be stuck. Okay? I don't want you to be stuck. I want you to add value, and the adding of value is, it must take place within yourself first. Before you can give greater value out to others, you've got to grow yourself. So that's the what. And whenever you think about what does it mean to add value, before you add value to anybody else, I want you to think, what can I do to increase the value that I bring to the marketplace? Okay, so how? How do you increase your value? Because what's going to happen is it's going to be reciprocal. When you increase your value, it's naturally going to flow out of you. And now you're going to be adding that value to others. So how do you do that? Okay, you can do it by reading books, by reading personal development books, by watching videos online, by joining masterminds. I'm a part of the Ray Higdon mastermind right now. It's a very expensive mastermind to be a part of. I actually run masterminds where I have other people come alongside and I teach them for far less than what I pay. I coach those things and teach those things. I increase my value. I raise my lid. I take that. I offer that to my students and offer that to my clients. Okay. So as my value is increasing, and I'm gaining from a mastermind or from a coaching platform that I'm a part of, I pass that on. So I elevate my value and the value that I'm giving out. How? Through books, through mastermind groups, through articles that I read, through blogs, through CD sets. I even still have like old notes from seminars that I attended 20 years ago that I'll get out and I'll read. These are ways that I continue. That's the how that I add value to myself and also pick up the value that I need to give out to others. So why should I do this? Why should you do this? Why should you be adding value? Why should you be increasing your value? Because frankly, the world needs you. Your corner of the world needs you. We live in times, and I happen to be an American. I live here in America. I know sometimes I get international community on here. It doesn't matter where you're from. The people around you need you to be a better you. That's why you need to increase your value. And you need to add that value to others. Why? Because the people that know them need them to be a better version of themselves as well. We talk about making the world a better place. And let me tell you something, guys. It's never going to happen through politics. It's not going to happen through presidents and world leaders and global systems. That's not how the world's going to become a better place. The world's going to become a better place when you and I become better people. That's how the world is going to become a better place. When we raise our value that we're bringing and we encourage other people and teach other people how to do the same. That's why you need to be adding value to yourself. That's why you need to keep growing. Because if you're not growing, how are you going to change the people around you? How can you raise children to add greater value to a world when you're not continuing to add value to yourself? How can you influence your spouse to be a better version of themselves if you're not willing to become a better version of yourself? If you want the landscape of the world to change, then my friends, you've got to be willing to change. You've got to grow the value that you contain. You've got to lift that lid. You've got to expand your borders, expand your territory, and become more than you've been in the past. Every day you've got to become more than you were the day before. That's why. Because we're world changers. We're trying to make a difference and an impact in the world. A real, literal impact, not a proverbial impact. We're not talking about, the world needs hope, and we're here to bring hope, and just these like talking points that I hear politicians, use all the time. And even a lot of the rhetoric that I hear internet marketers and so-called motivational speakers and network marketers, the propaganda that comes out of these communities, sometimes it can turn into talking points. I'm not here for talking points, my friends. I'm here to teach you how to impact the world around you, and that's not going to happen until you impact yourself. That's why you need to add value to yourself and others. So who are you going to add value to? This is a big question I get all the time. People say, Nate, who am I going to add value to? Who's going to listen to me? Who wants to hear anything that I have to say? And I understand that when I struggled with that one myself for a long time. Let me tell you something, my friends. There's always somebody who does not know something that you know. I'm going to say that again. There's always someone who does not know something that you know. Let that sink in for just a moment. Sometimes we're so busy looking up and seeing what we've not yet attained, or I'm not as far along as that guy or that girl or that guru or that blogger or that coach or whatever, that we forget to look down. And when I say that, I don't mean through condescending eyes. I'm not talking about looking down at people and being condescending and judging them. That's not what I mean. What I mean is we look down to those who have maybe not yet attained a certain level of success in life, in skill, in a certain skill, or economically, or in relationships, or whatever it might be that we have to offer in terms of wisdom, knowledge, value into their world. It's time for us to look down and say, who can we lift up? Who can we raise up? That's the who. It's the people that need to learn from you, because I promise you, no matter who you are, there's somebody who needs to learn something from you. Thank you so much for that, Anthony in Vegas. I appreciate that. I'm going to tell you something my mother told me one time. I'm a good old Southern boy. Let me tell you something my mama told me one time. She said, Nate, until you get to the place to where you're humble and contrite enough in your spirit that if there was a bum in a ditch who knew something that you didn't know, can you learn from that person? And until you get to the place, Nate, where you could learn something from the bum in the ditch, then you still have too much ego in play. Wow. Talk about a lesson from mom on the ego and getting over ourselves. See, I'm going to tell you something, guys. It's actually very selfish for you to not be sharing what you're learning. It's actually selfish for you to not look down and to say, hey, who can I raise up? Who can I bring along for this journey with me? It's a selfish move for you. See, ego's an interesting thing. Ego is not always, I think I'm better than you. Ego is just making yourself the issue. And if you're shy, if you're too shy to share with other people some information or knowledge or wisdom that would help them on their life's journey, then your ego is in the way. Did you catch that? That's important for you guys to think about. The ego is a strange thing. Sometimes it expresses itself in our shyness, in our lack of willingness to speak up. So who can you add value to? Anyone who has a deficiency in any skill, bit of knowledge, or piece of wisdom that you have. If you possess it and they don't, you should be giving it away. And when? That's the last question, when. We covered the what, the how, the why, the who, and the when. When should you do it? You should start doing it right now. You should be doing it every single day. A great way to do it is getting on and periscoping. I don't know what the current numbers are, but at the beginning of last month, the beginning of September, there were about 10 million users and only 4% of us were scoping. That means 96% are observing, my friends. 96% are watching. Some are watching for entertainment. Some are watching just to see what this new platform is all about. Some are watching because they're looking for someone to speak some life, some wisdom, some hope, some knowledge, some skill into their world. And you have hope and wisdom and knowledge and skill to give to someone, and you need to start doing it right now. People are looking, and they're looking for who they can connect with, and they're looking for who they can trust. And videos like this is one of the greatest ways that you can build trust, because people can look in your eyes, hear your voice, learn a little bit about you. If we can help up anyone even one rung down the ladder, yes, absolutely, Anthony in Vegas. Even if they're just one step below you, even if you're and I will say this too, sometimes you may be co-equal in some things, but you may have the rung up the ladder in a certain skill. So for instance, maybe you've got someone in your circle of influence that, you're on the same social level. Maybe you're on the same economic level, but maybe you know more about technology, and that person, knows more about hands-on experience, real world experience. You guys can get together and you can add value to each other. So when should you start doing it? You should start doing it right now. Right now, putting out valuable content every single day. On your Facebook page, leave the drama alone. Just leave the drama of your life out of there and start adding value. Be not just, here's the thing, inspirational, yes. Motivational, yes. But also offer something that's going to help someone to advance their skill. Give them a tool, something that they can take. I like to call them levers or leveraging sticks. Give them a lever that they can help to move the rock of life a little more easily. Does that make sense to you guys? Man, I appreciate that steady flow of hearts. Thank you so, so very much. I hope that the value that I am learning and putting into myself and lifting myself up is adding value to you guys. And I hope that you'll pass it on. One of the best things that you can do is to take something that you've learned and go teach it immediately. So when you hop on my scopes, I recommend take notes and then go teach everything that I'm teaching you. Go to your group, go to your mastermind, go to your network marketing team, go to your sales team, at work. Go to your buddies at lunch and say, hey, listen, I was watching this scope today with this guy guy, Nate Ridgway, let me tell you what he was sharing and just pass the information along, you guys. If you would, check out my website, nateridgway.com. nateridgway.com. It's actually a new site. I've just released it. It does not yet have all the bells and whistles. We're still building it. It looks good, but under the hood, it still needs a lot of work. But if you guys would, stop by nateridgway.com, check out a few of my blogs, drop me some comments, let me know if you're getting value from the stuff that I'm putting out, and I really appreciate it.